Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. I'm one brother.
Hello, everybody, and I'm the second brother. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel, another exciting episode. And over to you, Mr. Phil.
We're going to dive straight into this one. We're going to title this one Back to Square One. Back to Square One. What do I mean? You see, Africa the way it is does not need to be the way it is. Africa the way it is. How is Africa? Africa is the land that we go and the roads are bad. Africa is the land that we go and the electricity is not constant. Africa is where we go and the healthcare is in shambles. Africa is where you go and in the 21st century, nothing is working. And where it works, it is in serious, it is being propped up. So when I say where it works, let's talk about the Banana Islands. Mr. Clay, what other places? Because Banana Island is the only one that I know that's posh right now. Which other place in Nigeria is posh?
They have Lekki, VI,
okay.
All the old places, but they got this new city, Eco City, coming up as well.
Okay.
So
now we always seem to be able to do those things, like the Lekki. So like maybe 0.1% of the population in a small, tiny place that seem to have generators that will keep, and you can see the strain in maintaining those places in contrast to everything that surrounds it. So it's almost like a facade being propped up. It is, from what I see, extremely expensive to live there. So for you to be able to live there, you cannot be an average Nigerian and live there. So Nigeria is this, and when we say Nigeria, I take Nigeria as a cookie cutter sample of other places in Africa. Because places in Africa you can go and they will be, apart from the Rwanda that I'm hearing now, they're working on sustainable development. Apart from maybe Botswana, those two very unusual places in Africa right now, because they're doing things the right way. They're building right. They're building and they're thinking of sustainability. Apart from that, in Africa, what you see, like I was explaining to my daughter, is that you will see the worst of the worst poverty, living side by side with the best of the best in the world. Look, I see on Nigerian streets sometimes vehicles that I don't even see in the UK. Vehicles that I don't even see in America. But you will see it in Nigeria. Mr. Clay, over to
you. Yeah, they're there. There's great contracts. And the cars that you mentioned, that you see the car cannot cope with those kind of roads. And so the person driving those kind of cars cannot actually really enjoy the car, which is sad to see. So it's like it takes a special kind of mindset to do that. Because I remember there was many years ago when I was dream building, and I used to go to a Mercedes showroom here in London, and I made friends with the salespeople. You know, because dream building, you have to go in there and say, "Oh, you know, I'm about to come into some money in a few months' time, so I'm looking for a car to buy." And they will say, "Oh, really? Let's show you what we have," and they will show you the cars. And so what I used to do was, there was a nice S-Class Mercedes that I used to sit in, listen to the music, listen to Jim Rohn in there, just sit there, just listen to the radio. And sometimes I would even fall asleep in the car. It was so comfortable.
Why not?
In central London, you won't believe that the car was destined for Nigeria. Somebody had already bought it and they were just about to ship it. So, but and that's just pure people skills. Walking in there, once to do it for a week or two, even they're surprised, like, what are you doing here? You want to buy a car? But so because there's not enough of us that goes into those places. So I will encourage you on that note to go into those places and test drive those cars and see yourself in them before you actually buy them. Back to you, Mr. Phil.
Now, very quickly, I'm not trying to shit on Nigeria, excuse my language. I'm not trying to crap on Nigeria. I'm not trying to crap on Africans. What we're trying to do here is to unravel the things that got us here in the first place. Because if you do not identify the issue, and you cannot identify it accurately, then you cannot solve the issue. And to be honest, Africa is a case that needs to be solved because not one person comes from Africa that I know that is proud of the way things are there. Everyone wants to come out, everybody wants to be part of someone else's system, but they forget one thing. And the one thing that they forget is that Nigeria is made up of Nigerians. And who are Nigerians? Nigerians are the people, the men and the women, children, everybody in Nigeria is what makes up Nigeria. So really and truly, Nigeria is made up of the disciplines, the attitudes, the outlook of every single Nigerian population. Now, we're quick to look at the politicians and we say, it's them! Look at them! It's them! And I think it was Mr. Clay that said this one day. I think it was Mr. Clay that said, he said, but Nigerian government is not made of Koreans. Nigerian government is not made of Indians. Nigerian government, so when you say it's Nigerian government, and you point your finger, what you're really doing is you're pointing the finger at yourselves. And this is where it comes from. Mr. Phil, here you go again. I will unsubscribe. I don't like what you're talking about. I will unsubscribe because I don't understand why you should be saying the things you're saying. Okay, before you unsubscribe, before you go, hear this. You make up one of the population of Nigeria. Let's look at multiplying you. Are you the kind of person that when they call a meeting and you say you're going to be there at 7, you get to the meeting 7:45? Nobody will want to say they are now, but you know if you are. Are you the kind of person that cannot be relied on? You basically just say things because it makes people happy. I will donate 100,000 to this cause. Everybody go. Because it's in the moment you say it and you know you can never fulfill it. Are you that person? Are you the person that will say, oh, let us do this, and you will never do it? If you're that person, then you don't need to point to any Nigerian government. Because, and I know, okay, let me say it. Practically every Nigerian that I know is like that. Mr. Phil, what are you saying? Look, practically every Nigerian that I know, it is a struggle for them to keep time.
They operate the Nigerian time.
It is for them to keep time is like really, really a struggle.
They
Talk about
operate.
integrity,
Sorry, Mr. Phil.
please.
They operate Nigerian time.
Yes.
That's their own. You know, that's the way they see it. That we shouldn't, and is a culture.
Okay. So they operate Nigerian time, and it's a culture, is a nice way of saying bullshit. We operate Nigerian time, African time. Bullshit. Because you're the same kind of people that will complain about how the place is not working. You're the same kind of people that will complain about your government. You're the same kind of people that will want to come out of that country and experience other cultures, and you cannot even do the barest minimum disciplines in your country, and you expect something to work. That's why I say bullshit. Because all of you, yes, okay, look, I don't care. Switch off, go off. The truth that needs to be said. Because that is why things are the way they are. That's why we're talking about square one. Square one is what we're describing. Nothing in Nigeria works. From education to healthcare to government to private sector to buying anything, nothing is produced. Everything is just in true and utter shambles. And everybody will want to call it, that's our culture. Okay, that's your culture. You're basically saying failure is your culture. Let us actually call it that. Maybe we can even actually manage, that might even work. What do I mean? We can even market, we can say, okay, Nigeria, the land of failure. Let's forget that. When you want to fail, this is what you do. When you don't want to achieve anything in the world, this is the culture you need to emulate. Maybe that's what we need to sell. But if you're saying that you want to succeed, and you want to then saying that that's your culture, you can never be late, you can never lead, you can never be responsible, you can never be disciplined, and you now say that, oh, it's your government. BS. You're just fooling yourself. Mr. Clay.
Yeah, they are the poverty capital of the world, as they call themselves. It's official that Nigeria is the poorest country in the world. So that's the result of the Nigerian time, the Nigerian culture. Like you say, if you want to demonstrate a system that doesn't work, then go to Nigeria and see it live. You don't have to do it in theory in a classroom and say, you don't have to speculate, just go there as a case study, see how we can screw things up. You're right. There is no excuse. Although when you talk to Nigerians, they have a whole lot of excuse. And we do talk to Nigerians quite a bit, and we don't obviously they think we don't understand because there's a Nigerian factor. That's the other one. The Nigerian factor is there. You're not taking the Nigerian factor into your consideration. So, Mr. Phil, you have to take the Nigerian factor into your consideration because, otherwise.
I call bull sneeze. Bull sneeze. And the reason is this. They forget that I grew up in Nigeria. And I forget that I've been to Nigeria several times after in the worst situations. And I've accomplished what people said was not accomplishable. All it takes is determination. All it takes is creativity. All it takes is never say die. Because I remember going to Nigeria, I think it was 2003, then 2000 blah, 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 2011, 2000 blah, 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 And I remember one of those trips, I said I was going to do a seminar in the house. And everybody said, nah, man. I said, we're going to do it here. We're going to do a whole meeting here. They said, nah, it's not doable. Okay. Over here in the UK, you get a whiteboard. Nigeria, where is the whiteboard? No whiteboard. Okay. Where can we buy? There's nowhere to buy. Okay. What can we use? We're gonna Mr. Clay, I went to the back of the house one day and I saw this unused door that they were throwing away. I watched the door. That was my whiteboard, Mr. Clay. The meeting went on as planned. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Clay?
Well, yeah, I remember that you had your meeting.
At my meeting, despite everybody saying it is not. Go on.
With the naysayers sitting in the front row.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of the stuff you were saying still went over their heads. It was just like pew pew, but they were there. And when you look back over the years, it's amazing how even now, somebody, when they hear that somebody's coming from London to Nigeria, somebody's coming from abroad, they don't ask for a book. They don't ask for a tape. They don't ask for anything that will, really change their paradigm. All they want is to continue, to look good in mess, to smell good in mess. They don't want to change their paradigm. Like which is I think it's a mental illness. Where you're not prepared to clean your environment. And I see it also in ladies, I'm gonna call you out on this. I see it in ladies, in women. So instead of a woman want to beautify herself, instead of her to lose weight, no, that's too much work. She will do her nails, she will do her eyelashes, and she will do her hair. Forget the weight.
The nail, the eyelashes, and the hair, and sometimes the face, because I'm pretty, would cover the weight. Would abracadabra, you can't see the weight. You can't see the weight. You can't see the weight because my nails, my eyelashes. Meanwhile, we're all saying it. Over to you, Mr.
And you'll be like, you know how much my nails are? Do you know how much my nails are? Do you know how much my clothes are? Do you know how my shoes are? Do you know how my handbag are? But the thing you need to work on really is drop the weight first. But that's too much work. So we want to take the easy, lazy man's solution.
To everything.
Always. And where does the lazy man solution get you? Nowhere.
Like Mr. Clay, myself and Mr. Clay, we said when we started this journey with these recordings, we said we're going to make 100 videos. Man, do you know how much work?
100 videos, man.
We're laughing at ourselves because I just said it. I just said we're gonna do 100 videos. When we're like 70.
100 videos, man. There's no shortcut to it.
So even us, we have to push ourselves in easy. It's not easy. So we're even telling you, we are practicing what we preach. We can't take the easy road. Mr. Clay, let me tell you a secret. Even today, I nearly called you and said, can we do this? Can we do it another day? I said, no. I said, no, Mr. Clay. You don't know the struggle I had to overcome to even make this recording. But people don't see that, though. They don't see our paying the price. They don't see when the time is not conducive. They don't see when we're struggling. They just think, Oh, it's easy for Mr. Clay now. Easy, London. They don't know the price we're paying. So if you're still with us now and you've not clicked off, congratulations. Because now we're not going to go into the solutions. Because what are the solutions? The solution is simply change what you can. And who can you change? The only person you can change in the entire Nigeria is you.
Yes, sir. And that's the only person you need to change.
Carry on, Mr. Clay, please.
Sorry. I can't have some time to interject my.
Please interject. Okay. Do you know that? Do you know the reason why that's the only person you need to change? It is because if you imagine Nigeria right now, Nigeria is something million people, and you are just one vote. So I understand if you say, let us improve Nigeria with my one vote against the millions, you will lose. I understand. But guess where you have 100% of the vote? You have the 100% of the vote with yourself. Nigeria, your vote is practically meaninless. But where your vote counts is with yourself. You have 100% of the vote with yourself. So whatever you decide to do and achieve, you can do and achieve within yourself. And that's the only person that you really need to change. I wrote a book. I published it 10 years ago now. You can change your world. And that's what it was dealing with. Because when you change your world, the world changes. When you change your world inside, your world on the outside changes in reflection to the world on the inside. Let me repeat that again. When you change your world on the inside, the world on the outside changes for you in reflection. I cannot. Okay, don't let me say that. Let me just say that. Yeah, let me say it. I cannot live in poverty anymore. It's impossible. You know why? It's impossible for me to live in poverty because I am not in poverty in here. Mr. Phil, are you trying to say we're in poverty in here? That's why we're in poverty. Check yourself. No one will check you. Oh, you want it to be saying, oh, Mr. Phil is the one that said I'm in poverty. No, you're already in it. So don't put it on Mr. Phil. Check yourself, because if you fix the poverty here, the poverty out here will fix itself. That's why they say the world makes way for the man that knows where he's going. Political correctness world that we live in today, the world makes way for the woman as well that knows where she's going. Now, when a man knows where he's going, where does he know it? He knows it first in here. When a woman knows where she's going, where does she know it first? Even our mentors used to tell us then, they will say, private victory always precedes public victory.
Yeah.
Our mentors always tell us then, they'll say, private victory always precedes public victory. So if you're going to have ever in your life have public victory, trust and believe that you will have already been victorious privately before people start hearing about you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Kinley?
Yeah, that is it. You know, when you're investing in yourself daily and you're focusing on your personal development, we always go back to that.
Yeah, of course.
And you're reading, you're associating with the right kind of, you're watching your gates into your body, because a lot of people want the better life and they look for it outside. instead of them to be look for it inside. You know, you think the big house, the nice clothes, the nice wristwatches, that's what we think will give us the good life. You know, iPhone 54, whatever the number is now, the iPhone is selling, the latest one. You know, you that's what you want because that's the high life. But that's not the high life. Because Mr. Phil, you were the one that sent me the video of Tyson Fury saying he had all the money, more money than he can spend in 100 lifetime. That's what he said. Yeah. And he was not happy. And we can see that on our politicians, they have more money than they can spend in 100 lifetime. And they're still stealing more.
Again, because and we've done a video on this, because what they're really looking for, Mr. Clay, and this is something that, ladies and gentlemen, has been crystallized for me only in the last 2 weeks. Do you know how dangerous that is? I'm telling you that I've been reading for the past over 30 years. I've been gaining from those books for over 30 years. I've been learning from those books over 30 years. It has changed me. It has shaped me. It has impacted my friends. It has impacted my network. It has impacted my family. And still, I'm still learning today some crucial, life-changing things that is making me feel like, honestly, I don't know nothing. Honestly. Because 2 weeks ago, I think it was between the last 2 weeks, I shared this with you a bit, Mr. Clay. What those politicians are looking for is really enthusiasm, joy, and love. And you put it in the best way. Mr. Clay, you were the one that actually used this word. All those 3 words is brought up into one word: euphoria. When you're deliriously happy. When you're euphoric in your happiness. But do you know the crazy thing about euphoria? The thing that sustains euphoria is not on the outside. Everything in the physical world can only trigger euphoria. You buy a car, it wears off. You marry a woman, the woman of your dream says yes, it wears off.
The man of your dream says yes.
It wears off. You have children, it wears off. You get a promotion, it wears off.
You travel abroad.
Keep going, Mr. Clay. It wears off.
You said money back home. You become the local hero. You pay somebody's bill for them.
It wears off. You take someone to bed. It wears off. You buy the amazing one. There was one time I laughed at myself. You know what? This was crazy. I was looking through one magazine. Then I saw this wristwatch. I think I'm a wristwatch man, but anyway, I saw this wristwatch. And they made, I think I've told you this story before, and they made this wristwatch. They did a fighter jet. And this watch is a fighter jet. It was bad there. Black and red. Beautifully made. Asking price about £350, something like that. Shit, I didn't have £350, so I did not have £350. I have £350, but not £350 to just put on the watch. Okay, let me start clear. You know what I did? I drew money from here, drew money from here, drew money from here, and I got the watch. Like, that experience is what made me swear never to spend. I've got a limit on how much I will spend on watches. Honestly, that experience.
The way you wore off.
The watch came. I took it out of the box. I put it on my hand. I wore it out. After a week of wearing it, I put it back in the box. Mr. Clay, do you know where I found the watch later?
No.
I was coming back from my son's school. My son took the watch to work.
Wow. Wow.
Months later, Mr. Clay, by the time I saw the way the watch was, I just looked at my son and smiled, because you can't beat him. You know why you can't beat him? His son that was excited about this watch. Let's see
what's so special about this.
By the time they finished with the watch, Mr. Clay, I just told him to take it. that is 350 quid lesson. 350 quid lesson. I've learned even more lessons for that, but that's a lesson. And the lesson I learned there is that Mr. Phil, don't get carried away with adverts. Everything loses its shine. So let's go back to what those politicians are looking for and what everybody is on the inside. If you do not develop yourself on the inside, and if you do not muster these things, this is an energy. I don't want to go too deep, because there's so many things we can be sharing, and we keep telling you don't want to go too deep, but again, it's a journey. We cannot skip. But all I can say is that it's an energy, and it is not what you possess that gives you that energy. Let me repeat that. The energy of euphoria that you're looking for, that everyone ends up looking for. Some of you will even hear me using that word euphoria, and you'll be like, what? Euphoria. Some people call it nirvana. Some Tibetan monks, people, Buddhists, people that meditate, they call it nirvana, where you get to a state of complete bliss and joy and happiness that is beyond this world, and it is sustainable. It changes everything about your perspective. It changes everything about your world. It changes everything about your taste. It changes everything about, you are literally in heaven on earth. That's what we're all looking for. But what happens is that we all have different ideas of how to get there. Let me repeat it. And this, when I say this, people say, but no, yeah. All that is that we all have different ideas of how to get there. Some people will say, once I have 500 properties, then I'll be Nirvana. Some people will say, once I get that promotion, then I'll be Nirvana. Some people say, when I buy that shoe, then I'll be Nirvana. Whatever it is, when I become the president, when I become whatever it is, the mistake they make is that it's all on the outside. And all those can be our triggers. But Nirvana is actually an energy, and it's a universal energy, and none of those things triggers that energy sustainably. What they can do is they will trigger the energy in you to connect to it, but because you thought that they were the one that made it happen, you put your focus on the wrong thing, and then you will lose the energy. Meanwhile, the energy has always been with you. Don't let me go too deep, because I'm still a student of this as well. But a student of this I'm going to be. A student of this I'm going to be. Mr. Clay.
Well, that's the joy, isn't it? That everything that you're looking for is already inside of you.
People will not believe that. People will not believe that. Well, carry on, Mr. Clay.
And you don't even need to pay for it. You were born with it. You know, And that is the secret. And when you understand that, when you truly understand that, then all this going out and grasping and looking for it outside, you will relax yourself. You relax yourself and say, okay, listen, okay. So it's inside there, okay, no problem. Let me just pay some attention to myself. Let me think about why. Because yeah, you're right. You know, even as you were talking, I was just thinking about the kind of dishes, the food that I wanted to eat. That I think, okay, once I, get this food, it's gonna be bliss. Like now, I'm saying when I go to Mexico, Cancun, like that's when it's gonna be bliss. But when I arrive in Hawaii, Waikiki, Hawaii, that's when the bliss is gonna happen. But it's not in Hawaii. The bliss is right inside me. And I need to then cultivate that because this is where the work is. That's why reading, that's why, that sustainable euphoria, which is now the work that I'm doing myself. Because now that I've heard about it, that it's possible, I can start working on it and creating it. Because you know the feeling where you felt euphoric the night before. Let's say it's your birthday. I mean, a lot of people, birthday, and because they want to feel special, they have the euphoria for 24 hours. Let's say it give you 24 hours. It doesn't even last 24 hours. Let's say, Then the next day, it's not no longer your birthday. I mean, and everybody's like, I have to wait a whole year. Oh, yeah.
For that feeling again.
360 something day. Then you'll be helping other people celebrate their birthday so that when your day comes, at least they don't have any excuse, Abby. Mm-hmm. I've been those that, I've been tricked with those, especially, our female, people, they love their birthday. Now, the thing is, every day should be your birthday. Have you told them, why isn't every day your birthday? No, I wasn't born every day. Yes, you are. Each time you wake up, and you're not born. But anyway, don't let me go there. That might be too deep for you tonight. So, but all I'm saying is the journey is inside. So let's work on ourselves. Let's create that euphoric atmosphere so that when you're tempted to do the wrong thing, that will make your life a living hell. Because no matter how much rich you are in Africa, you have bad roads. So you can't really enjoy your wealth because you have to build yourself a prison to live in. Your fences are high with electric fences, top of the art electric fences. That's what we call prisons. You might call it your house, but we call it prison. Think about it. Back to you, Mr. Phil.
And back to what we're talking about the fact that this recording, we're calling it back to square one. Back to square one means that, you see, when you're developing yourself to come out of the hole that you find yourself, you need to keep the disciplines. Otherwise, you will be back to square one. What are the disciplines again? If you're the person that you say Nigeria should not be the way it is, make sure you always keep your time. We're not joking when we tell you the price that we pay. Even in Nigeria, ask people that know me in Nigeria, they will tell you that I always keep my time. And I even know it's possible because Mr. Claire, my nephew used to, when I was there, I was working with him and everything, always late. Then one day, after all the excuses in the world, I started reading. One day, we said we're gonna leave the home for 1:30. Where is this guy now? I couldn't find him. You know where I found him?
In the car.
He was in the driver's seat waiting for me. Right on time. Mr. Clay, I nearly lost my breath. I needed resuscitation. I'm like, what happened? And from then till I left, the guy was on time. So I knew it was possible. This was the guy that was like, hey, now, You don't know that. But it was on time on my trip.
Mm.
And it never failed. So I know it's in each one of us and it's in each one of you. If only you know the value of the prize that you're fighting for. Oh, yes, I know the temptation will come and say, oh, Mr. Phil, what if I do it and everyone else doesn't? I keep telling you this, don't worry about everybody else.
Mm.
You do what you need to do until you have that reputation.
Mm.
When you have that reputation will start paying you.
Mm.
Oh, Mr. Phil, but everybody does it wrong. Everybody. Do you know that's an opportunity for you?
Mm.
But it's only an opportunity for you if you do it right.
Oh, yeah.
Let me repeat that again. Mr. Phil, but don't you understand? But everybody else does it wrong. Don't you see? That's an opportunity for you. Only if you do it right, though.
Mm. But
And you doing it right is the only way you get there is by the price. Mr. Clay, please.
Now, you showed me something earlier in the week about when you reach enlightenment. How many people is that worth?
Ooh! That blew me away. That blew me away. That is such an encouraging thing for those people that think, well, it's not worth me. It's not worth me working on myself. It's not worth me improving myself. Can you not see what everyone is doing? And basically, what I share with Mr. Clay is that people that work on themselves affect they effect change. The good news is that you don't need many people to effect change. You just need the few that choose. And that's why we're saying be one of the few that choose. Otherwise, you'll be back to square one. And we don't want square one. We've been in square one since the independence of Nigeria. We've not moved from square one. Guess what? There's square 2, square 3, square 3, 4, square 5, square 6, square 7. We're still in square one. We try to move from square one, then we go back to square one. We try to do more, go back to square one. I'm saying we need to move away from square one. Because there's square 100, there's square 1,000, there's square million, there's square 100 million. And we can't move from square one. We can't move from square one. And we always go back to square one, generation after generation. Same thing. This generation blames the previous generation, not knowing that they're actually probably even worse than the previous generation. This new generation will blame the old generation, blame the old generation will blame the older generation, and they're actually getting worse as time is going by. Mr. Claire, let's round up.
Yeah. As you know, we keep telling you that when you focus on these things, you have an unbelievable future. And that still holds. You get to be able to design your own future. And you feel more empowered and in control of your own life, which a lot of people don't have it. People are living lives of quiet desperation, where they don't feel in charge of their own lives. They have a boss at work that they have to please. They have a missus or husband at home they have to please. They have children they have to please. They have parents they have to please. They don't feel in control. They just feel, wherever they run to, it's just problems. But these are tools that we're giving you, that will empower you to be fully in control and feel empowered. First of all, to have hope, and then not to stop there, but to bring the kind of lifestyle that you want to be living into your reality. So I'll catch up with you guys next time. Over to you, Mr. Phil.
Yes, we're doing, because the thought just came to me that some people will be like, why are these guys so passionate about this? What is the need for them? You see, I think the greatest thing for me is that this is one of my purpose. I'm here to empower people. I'm one of those people that I cannot see things that I know there are solution to and not see anything about it. I said that's because some people think that we're doing this because, oh, they're looking for money.
Don't give us the money.
Don't give us any money.
Don't give us the money, okay? Keep it.
And another thing that we're doing this is for is because one day, sometime, some people will see this information. And this information will help them. But they will not be able to see this information if we did not do the information. And that is why we're building this library. Dare I say, it might not even be for you, but you might know someone that this is for. Bring them to the source. Why would I do that? Well, why not? If you can do it and they can do it and they can change Nigeria for the better for you to enjoy, is that not even worth it for you? If you can't do what we're saying and you lead someone to this information and they change Nigeria, do you think you will not enjoy that? Sometimes we think when we're being generous, we're being generous just for the person, for someone else. No. Every time you're being generous to yourself. Every time you're stopping yourself from being, every time you're not being selfish, anytime you're not being selfish towards someone else, you're actually truly being not selfish towards yourself. And every time you're selfish towards someone else, you're truly being selfish to yourself. That's what we don't know. Don't you? Look, the fact that myself and Mr. Claire were doing this, we're being generous. So I ain't surprised. Mr. Claire ain't surprised if the universe is now in turn generous to us. We're not saying you have to be generous, but guess what? Energy, the universe is energy. It's a universal law. You can't, it's not about whether you like me or I like you or you are handsome and I'm ugly or no. Universal laws are universal laws. And one of the laws is this: if you send positive energy out, guess what? It comes back multiplied. It just doesn't come back. It comes back multiplied. So let's not go back to square one. We all know what square one is now. On that note, I hope we have made sense. I hope you understand what we're saying. See you next time.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.